Oh, that'd be awesome.
Okay. You guys
Thank
ready?
you, Michael. We're ready.
Peace. Okay. Welcome to week 4 of the DNS runners. Definitely not stressed. I think we all stressed out this week for one reason or another. Um, we have 17 weeks to go until Chicago.
Oh my God.
I'm not sure when that happened.
That's really soon.
That's so soon.
Like it's simultaneously far away, but also tomorrow. So
Oh,
like I don't
absolutely.
know. Time is a social construct. It's
It's all just a Mobius strip of one marathon after another.
It's so
at this
crazy.
point.
Every time we do a training block, I feel like I'm like, okay, well, we have like 5 months until we have the marathon. And then I'm like, it's
It's here.
Christmas and everything's over.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
man.
how I judge my year at this point.
When the marathon's over and I can go do things again. I,
Yeah.
I can be fun and not have to go to bed early on Friday nights.
Like,
I'm
I'm
not
still
fun
I'm still
ever.
gonna I'm still gonna go to bed early on Friday night, but my running won't be my excuse anymore.
so you're saying I'm doing it wrong when I immediately sign up for another marathon?
I don't
You're
even
not
sign up for one,
wrong,
but I
just
like,
different. You're doing it differently than me.
I just keep the same schedule. It's really sick.
Yeah.
Oh
Now,
man.
see, once training's over, that's when I mellow myself back to like I'll do a 5K. I'll not like an official one, but like I'll go run 3 miles a couple times a week, and that's my maintenance. Like I don't have that. I don't have the drive to do anything really more when I'm not
Yeah.
training for something, just because
Yeah.
I don't know. This is when I'm just doing it for me. When I'm doing it for me, it's just a few times a week, and it's not too much. When I'm do
Yeah.
when I'm doing it for me for a medal, then it's a different story.
Oh man.
Well,
Um,
I'm pretty sure I like every year now I do. I mean, it'll be different this year because actually, no. Will it be different this year, guys? I'm going to be running 2 marathons in less than a month, right?
oh, yeah, I
we-
forgot you didn't turn off New York.
We've gone from
No,
there's no way I'm running to New York to I'm just gonna sign up to defer to I'm running 2 marathons in 2 months.
it was a very quick progression. But
That's
like usually after New York, I do a half marathon 2 weekends later as like
Cool
my
down.
my year closer.
This is my cool down half marathon.
And it's
Casual.
usually in the woods and I've trained for it like maybe twice.
I mean, you marathon train. It's
also
basic
Yeah, I'm
progression.
fine. I'm always fine. It works out. So
Let me
what's
do it all
going on?
again.
so how was your week, guys? What was your training block like?
So I'll start. So it didn't go 100% as planned. Um, so I started off with I'll start with my long run for the weekend, which was the 4 miles, which you guys, I know you'll talk about yours. But
Mhm.
I went to our local running store. I went to Runner's Edge. And they did one of their coffee runs, which this week was sponsored by a local physical therapist office, and she came and did like 20 minutes worth of runner stretches with us, and then we went out and we ran 4 miles, and it was all great. I met two girls who were running as well, and we were just chatting the whole time because she was about to run New York as her first marathon. So I was just talking about times that I've done it, like logistics and like what to expect when you're waiting.
Yeah.
Um, and like just like make sure that people who are watching you have like extra hydration for you, just something that easy for you to grab.
Just in
Um, yeah, just in case. Did I tell them the story? Yeah, I told them the horror story, but it's because they gotta know it was fine last year. So I ran the 4 miles and then I got some coffee. It was delicious. And then my training called for two 30-minute runs this week, but I don't know what I did to my leg. I kind of just stood up, and I'm at that age where just standing up is the downfall of society. And like something in like the it was on my left leg, like right behind my knee on the outer part, like behind it. I don't know what it felt like rubbing it. It felt like the muscle was like pulled, but it didn't feel like a pull. But I don't like walking was yes,
did
yes,
you
Kelly.
did you take an arrow to the knee?
I did not because I'm still an adventurer.
Okay, good, good.
I'm
As
still
long
an
as
I
adventurer.
don't even know what that means. Are we talking about a
I
game?
used to be an adventurer, but I took an arrow to the
it's
knee.
it's a video game. I couldn't tell you which one, but
It's
it's a video game.
Elder Scrolls.
There you go. That
Okay.
one.
That's why I'm lost.
Yeah. So I did not do my I usually do Tuesday, Thursday for my runs. This happened on Tuesday morning. I felt like I was gonna wake up early to do some track work and do some speed training because starting that. Um and uh, I woke up, I was like, I can't run like this. I was like limping to work,
Yeah.
limping at work. I got home, like maybe I just actually take a rest day, which on a side note, I hate like as much as I say, oh, rest day's coming, I don't gotta run or do anything. I stress out on a rest day because I'm like, I need to be doing something. I gotta be biking, I gotta be running, I gotta be doing something. But my body was just like, dude, stop.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
don't. And I don't like it. But it was feeling better yesterday, Wednesday, and I went to the track and I did my first official speed training, which that first
Round of applause for Mike on that one.
that first that first uh that first 5K pace, I definitely overestimated myself. Uh,
Okay.
I was like, I was like, oh, okay, let me just go pretty fast because like why not? And so I was doing like 8.5, and I was like, all right, that was good for one lap of that fast of a 5K pace. I'm like, I might need to slow that down a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, and then as Kelly knows with my track workouts, I don't know how to pace. I don't know how to pace on a track. I don't I like I've learned my rhythm when I'm running out like on the road. I can
Right.
pace myself. When I'm on a track, it's just like my brain goes, oh, go fast.
Okay.
So I got to get into that habit of monitoring my pace.
We have
And
to like change your watch face so that you can actually see
yeah,
what your lap pace
you guys
is.
can teach me how to use the other watch faces on Garmin because I don't know how to.
Mm-hmm.
That we can
Mm-hmm.
program it to tell you when you're in a pace zone.
Okay, yeah, I'll
Yes.
do
Actually, which Garmin do you have?
Forerunner. I don't know what
I think
number.
that I think you can program those to actually have pace zones so that if you're in it, it doesn't beep. But if you're like
Okay,
too fast, it'll tell you, too slow, it'll tell you. So this way you know where you should be for those intervals.
okay. It's the Forerunner 245. I don't know if
Yeah,
that
that
makes
one
sense.
can definitely.
I'm pretty sure you can do that. Yeah.
Because I had a 235 and I had a 265 and they could both do it. So
Yeah. Yeah. And that's
Fingers crossed
helpful
mine can.
too, because then you don't have to stare at your watch the whole time trying to figure out where you're running, you know?
Yeah. And I think so my Apple Watch identified that I was on a track. So it was that was like showing me my pace. It's like, oh, looks like you're on a track. Do you want to do a track? Are you gonna work out on the track? What lane are you in? I'm like, oh, that's cool. I liked that. So that one
You
was,
can,
I think my Apple Watch was giving me better readings on my pace,
okay.
whereas the Garmin was, I think it's because I didn't tell it I was on a track because
Right.
I don't know how to do that yet. Had this thing for
Okay.
2 years learning.
We can
Um,
teach you that too.
I would love that. Um, but yeah, so tomorrow I'll probably do some strength workout before our race this weekend.
nice.
That was my
Awesome.
week.
Nice. Okay. How are you, Cal?
Um, so the last time we talked was Thursday. So Saturday morning, Katie and I went into the city for the New York Roadrunners mini 10K.
Sure
Uh,
did.
which right now 10K is definitely like the furthest I've run in the last year was an 8 mile run. So 6 miles is still a lot for me right now.
Hmm.
Um, which is weird, but fine. Um, so we headed into the city. We of course hit traffic on the way there. So
Hmm.
we were like fast walking over to get our race bibs. Um, and then did have to do a little jog to get to the start line. We saw the elites run right by us.
Hmm.
One thing that was cool about this one was that it didn't actually start in Central Park. It started on Central Park West. So that whole street was closed down.
Okay,
Yes.
So it's like the first mile was down Central Park West, and then you turned into the park.
that's
Which
interesting.
is
That's
cool, but
new.
Yeah.
like,
That's
hey,
new
New
for
York,
them.
it was cool, but like also it would be even cooler if New York Roadrunners didn't make big bib pick up 1.3 miles from the corrals. Like,
Literally. Like race
Yeah,
day
I remember you saying that. I was like, oh no.
it was a
Really annoying.
yeah, a literal mile away. They said it, be warned. Like, great.
Yeah, be
Like, why
warned.
would they do
Well, someone needs to like post this shit on my front door because I don't read a single thing about the race before I get to one. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Didn't know we had to do this part.
Yeah, that's
Now,
what
which race was this again?
the mini 10K.
Okay.
Yeah, which is named after mini skirts.
Is it? Was it?
It was the nation's first women-only race.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and still is, and that's why you can't come, Michael.
Yeah, that's why I'm not allowed to go. That and the women's half, I'm not allowed to. It doesn't even give me the option to sign up.
Which is crazy because I've ran that half before and I've ran the mini 10K before, and there used to be so many men in dressed up in like tutus, and like it was fine. Like no one ever like was like, you shouldn't be here because you're a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and this
Me,
was
Mike,
before they
maybe next
even
time,
had
maybe
like,
next year.
yeah,
Maybe next
maybe
year
next
I'll
year.
pop up in a tutu.
I mean,
Yeah,
they let the women run the Fred LeBeau half and they don't make us wear like fake beards.
yeah, that's true.
Medal for that one used to be like a little bearded man.
No way.
I have one. I might be sitting right here. Maybe. I'll find it eventually.
Some Kelly ASMR right
I
there.
haven't.
She got right up in my ear.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But that was a fun day. Like besides the constant dilemma I was under, we both had good races. Is that it?
Yeah. See, it's a little bit.
Oh my
That's a
goodness,
bearded
yeah.
man.
That's
That's a
so
bearded
funny.
man.
Yeah. Yeah, so ugh, sorry. I'd like to play show and tell. That'll be great for the audio.
For everyone listening in, she turned her camera around and we saw a mustache of a bearded man.
Yes.
Description. Um,
Closed captioning
yeah,
available.
so we got into the start and we definitely like messed up a little bit getting into the start. So when we got there, both of our corrals had already went off. Like we looked at what the next letter was and it was lower than either of ours. And there was like a group of women waiting to go into the start. And it was like a whole like little, like not like, you know how the corrals are like one after another. So
Yeah.
like all the
Yeah.
people in those corrals were lower numbers than us. So we saw like a group of women to the side of the start line, like all gathered together, waiting to walk in. And I said to Katie, I'm like, I think this is people like that their corrals already went. They're just waiting to like get into the corral area. And Katie's like standing 10 feet away from me, like, I don't know this woman. This is definitely not what this is. So I go up to one of the girls. I'm like, oh, are you guys waiting to go in to start the race? And she's like, yeah, we're waiting. So I'm like, come on, we're gonna wait here. We'll go in with them when after the next wave goes off. So like the next wave goes off, they start like pushing everybody in. Like we walk in with everybody. And as we walk in, I realize like they're not letting us integrate with the rest of the corrals for some reason. And then I'm looking around and I realize, so the race is sponsored by MasterCard. And you know how MasterCard does the priceless moments?
Yeah.
We're in like the VIP corral.
It was like a lower corral than either of our starting ones. I asked and the girl was just like, yeah, we're waiting. So
We're waiting for our VIP experience.
because
Yep.
Alexi Pappas starts giving a pep talk.
No
And there's
relation.
only like what, probably 30 of us.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's like right next to the corrals. Like, so I'm just like trying to sink back into the corrals now, like, oh my God, I fucked up. Like,
I'm like, Kelly, get in the back. We're gonna be on TV.
and like the whole thing was like some of the women in the group were wearing like MasterCard singlets, but a lot of them were just in normal clothes. Like it wasn't like an obvious, like everybody's in the same outfit type of thing. But I was just like,
Yeah.
oh my God, what
We
have we done?
basically had like we had the whole street to ourselves for the first mile. It was a very special start.
So that happened.
That sounds like a grand old time.
Yeah. So I was a good girl and I wore a heart rate monitor for this race.
Yes.
Which I purchased almost 2 years ago and took out of the box for the first time as we jogged to the start. So my goal for this race was just to kind of like see where I'm at. Like my top goal was like run the whole time and don't have to walk at all. So I did that. So I was really happy there. So basically what I did was like I just put my watch in the heart rate screen. So that was all I could see. I couldn't see my pace. Like obviously when it buzzed after a mile, I had an idea, but I wasn't
Mhm.
watching that. And for
Yeah.
the first mile, I just kept it like in zone 2 or, zone 2-ish. And then
Mhm.
for the rest of the race, I kind of just let it go wherever it wanted to be. Like,
Right.
as long as it wasn't in zone 2, like I was mostly in zone 4. And then when an uphill happened, I'd occasionally like pop into zone 5 for a moment and then come back to zone 4. So
Mhm.
Okay.
zone 4 focus for the rest of the race. In my head, I was like, when I get close to the finish, I'll do a cool down, but then I could not because I am competitive with myself and I just kept going. So yeah, I was happy with it overall. I felt really good. There were obviously moments where I was like, this sucks. Why do I do this?
Yeah.
This might just be a Kelly thing. You know the Three Sisters in Central Park, the rolling hills?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every single time that I run those, I think of Hocus Pocus and I go, sisters, to myself. Just had to let you guys know that every time.
I
I'm just
called it
like,
last till Patrice.
I
So I was
always
like, God damn it, Patrice.
my cousin always calls them the sneaky bitches. So I'm always like, you sneaky bitches, because like you always forget about them.
Oh,
You know what I mean? And then you're like, oh God damn it, you're not done yet.
I had not looked at the course map. I had only looked at like where the start and finish were, so I knew like where I was going in Central Park. So I really wasn't sure what loop we were running. And the
Yeah.
relief that I felt when they did not make me go up towards Harlem Hill, I was like, oh, thank
Me
God.
too. Me too. I felt so relieved. And usually I like the challenge of Harlem Hill, but like I was having such a crappy day that I was like, oh,
Unpopular
we get to
opinion there.
bypass this.
Unpopular
Thank you.
opinion.
Thank God.
Yeah. So ran that race. Got
Yep.
handed medal at the end, which is always a nice icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Got the t-shirts, and then Katie and I got cupcakes before we drove home because we happened to walk by Magnolia Bakery.
Yeah. Oh my God. I haven't had one of those in like seriously. I was telling Kelly what like when we were younger, when Darren and I were like early 20s and we were dating, every year for his birthday, I would drive into the city and get 2 dozen magnolias for his birthday and bring them home. I haven't had them in probably 15 years, which shows how old I am. But I was so excited to eat that cupcake.
I literally was like, I haven't eaten this morning. I don't know that my stomach is gonna like agree to the sugar. I might just have like a bite of this. And I ate the whole cupcake immediately.
Yep.
Yeah, as you
Scarfed it
should.
right down. It was so good.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was Saturday. And then I ran on Tuesday. Yesterday. I feel like I did something on Sunday or Monday. Do I remember what it was? No, I think I might have done core one of those days. Something.
Mhm.
I know Tuesday that I ran because I did not, I don't want to call it like a speed work. It was more like tempo work because I just did like a warm up and then 3 sets of 6 minutes at a pace slightly higher than my the marathon pace that I aspire to are the words.
Okay.
Okay.
And that was good. I did it on my treadmill just because the baby was sleeping, so that's easier.
Hmm.
And then tonight I ran for like 45 minutes on my treadmill, so that was good. But
Nice.
just easy because we have the race on Saturday, so I was like, I'm not gonna do anything that's structured
Yeah.
tonight. I'm just gonna go.
Yeah. That's really good.
And I did a little bit of strength work yesterday. It's more mobility and core, I would say.
Yeah, I saw that. Who was that? Matt Wilpers.
Matt Wilpers. That was a really good mobility class if you guys are looking for one. It was 10 minutes, but it was like it hit everything and it felt really good. So
That's what
Yeah,
you texted us last night, right?
yeah.
I really like his mobility and his stretching classes. I think he's like, especially because he's such a hardcore runner, I feel like he just like knows what he's doing,
100%.
Yeah.
you
Agree.
know.
Agree.
That's awesome.
What about you?
It's been a week, guys. So we had the race Saturday. For the listeners who don't know this, I get my period every time I have a race. So like, and I'm telling you, I could have a race on the 4th of a month and then have it on the 25th of a month, and I will have my period somehow. And I got lucky. This was the first year for New York City Marathon 2023 that I actually didn't get my period. Felt like I won the freaking lotto. It was my first year running a marathon without my period. So I feel like now it's just payback. So I got my period like a couple of hours before we had to leave. I get very bad cramping when I get my period, like severe, like don't know how I'm going to be a person that day cramping. And with age, it's just getting worse instead of better. So, it was really bad Saturday. I felt like I was going to throw up the entire time I was running, which was cool. I didn't hit my goal. I didn't hit my goal. Like, I wanted to really go like a sub-8 pace for this race. I wasn't sure I could do it, but I was like, I know that I can try to do it, and I went out. First mile was good, but by like mid mile 2, I was like, okay, if I don't like figure this out right now, I will end up vomiting. So I was like, let me just listen to my body. I just want to get to the finish line without throwing up. So I got through it. It was fine. And then what else did I do? I had another run Sunday. I felt much better Sunday. Sunday was 5 easy miles. I was solo. I could just like cruise, and I like cruised. Like I was like, there is nothing in this tank. So we're gonna putt through 5 miles today. And then I think it was Sunday. Was it Sunday? No, it was Monday. I do strength like 3 to 4 times a week. I try to do core almost every day. I did my strength workout, and then I was like, I'm going to try this newest core class on Peloton, whatever. So I'm like doing it, and I'm like, oh crap, there's like V-ups, and I'm never comfortable doing V-ups, but let's give it a go anyway. I've had issues with my back since I had Carolina. So like three-ish years now. And Darren was actually down in the basement with me, and I was like, I don't know what it is about like a V-up, but like I cannot do one. And it's not because I'm not capable, but it's because like I can't like crunch normally. Like something about my tailbone hurts when I do it. And he's like, well, then don't do it. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna try anyway. So I do the whole class, and within like 2 hours, I can't sit. And I'm like, now I'm like touching my lower back, and I'm like, oh my God, it hurts when I like touch my back. So now I'm like, this is great. I broke my ass. Like, this is what happened. I just broke my ass, So I'm panicking because like I have to be a mother all day with a 3-year-old, and I can't sit down. And not that she ever wants to sit down, but like I can't even like sit down to eat my lunch. I was like in panic mode. I'm like, it's definitely broken. You could actually see my bone like in my left butt cheek.
Oh my God.
I don't think it's supposed to be there.
It was like red and swollen. And like I made Darren look at it, and Darren was like, yeah, that's not right. Like, thank you, Dr. Darren. I know. So anyway, I panicked. This is me. This is who I am as a human, though. I panic about it, and then I wake up Tuesday morning, and I'm like, oh, it doesn't hurt that bad. I'm gonna go run 10 miles. So I went and ran 10 miles.
10 on Tuesday.
Yeah. So I ran 10 miles. I was like, great, there's no pain. I'm fine. The second I sat down, I was like, here we go again. So I ended up like calling my friend, one of my very dear friends who happens to be a chiropractor. I told him what was going on. He's like, you better pray that it's not dislocated, because the fix for that is disgusting, and you will not want anyone doing that to you. So I went and saw him. He did a slight adjustment to me. I felt like immediate relief. He was like, you got to go get x-rays. I ended up getting x-rays yesterday. Turns out that from childbearing, I have a slanted tailbone. So like my tailbone, instead of like going straight down my back, now slants to the left into my butt cheek.
Gosh.
So what I actually did was I like inflamed the ligaments around my tailbone from putting so much pressure on it.
Yeah.
Doing V-ups. Long story long, guys, my ass is not broken. I'm fine. I did my speed work this morning. No pain. I went back for another adjustment today. Feeling good. So I plan to get back on my like strength training tomorrow, and I'm just going to keep up with like chiropractic work. Like, it's one of those things for me that like I know I need since having Carolina, because
Yeah.
I was 10 weeks pregnant with her when I started having severe sciatic issues. And like she was what, the size of a peanut at that point? You know what I mean? Like I've been in pain since then. And like I'm just a runner in the way that I'm like, well, I feel good now, so I'm not going to keep up with this, you know? So
Yeah.
I promised John and I promised myself I'll keep up with it and like make sure that I like don't actually break my ass next time.
That's all we ask.
Oh
That's all
man,
we ask.
So that's my week so far.
not too shabby.
Yeah.
Not too bad. Not too bad. But I was like
All right.
completely convinced that it was broken. And I was like, Kelly and Mike need to know this because they know all of the weird
Who do I
things
see for
I've
this?
been through.
Who do I see for this? A buttologist. Was
Oh.
I did. I texted them and yeah, I texted Kelly and Mike was like, guys, I think my ass is broken. What doctor do you go to?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that's it.
and
So
this weekend we have another 10K
yeah.
that
Oh
I'm actually I can actually run it with you
yeah,
guys.
Mike's invited to this one. So
Yeah,
this one's gonna
I was
be
allowed to
fun.
register for this one. This is the Queen's 10K.
I've always really liked this race, so I'm excited for this one.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Always
It's
hot
been
though. Always hot. What is the weather supposed to be this weekend?
The weather is supposed to be
75, 80.
It's gonna be
Tomorrow's
80.
supposed to rain.
Tomorrow's supposed to rain, and then Saturday's gonna be 82.
Yeah.
Always. I would almost rather it rain.
So it was funny when you asked if we were running this race, I was like, I don't think I signed up for anything. And then I've been getting emails like, oh, like we need your feedback for the Queen's 10K. And I was like, why? I'm not running it. And
Funny
then
you
I'm
say
like,
that.
oh wait,
Here's your race bib.
Oh, I
I'm
mean,
running. For those listening, Kelly's holding up my race bib.
that was like
Just
such
a
a
vintage.
great move on our end to go get them and not have to worry
Definitely.
about that.
Mm-hmm.
So good. I don't know why I don't do that every time I'm there. You know what I mean?
It's very few times the races are back to back like this.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
They
but
usually
if
because
you know
they
me,
only have the race at the run center open for bid pickup like a week in advance.
oh, that's true.
So
But I feel like I'm
if your
always
next race is in
rapid
2 weeks
fire.
later, that's when you text me while I'm at work, and I just pick a day and go after work.
True. That works too.
So that's the plan
Yeah.
for this weekend, I guess.
That's my plan for this weekend.
Yeah. Katie, do you think you'll try to race again?
I will. I'm gonna try to race it. I mean, I'm such like a competitive person with myself, and
You know,
like I finally it took me 4 years to figure out how to run a marathon, right? And like I'm gonna pat myself on the back, guys. Like I negative splitted a marathon. That was like my dream in life, and like
Yeah.
I did it. It took 4 years, you know. So, but it makes me like so upset that I can't figure out how to run a 10K. You know what I mean? Like pacing for a 10K to me is actually harder than pacing for a marathon. So I want to test myself, see what I'm capable of, and like start to look at those small distances and be like, okay, well, I know how to do this one too. You know, I don't love the feeling of going out and being like, I don't actually know where my pace should be for this, you know?
yeah.
So I might as well. I mean, I did speed work today, which was great, but like, you know, I have a run rest day tomorrow. So I think Saturday I'll be able to push a little bit.
Okay.
And if I can't, guess what, guys? I have another race at the end of June. So it doesn't matter.
Race after race.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We got about 10 minutes. Do you want to do some best worst opinions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so up first, what is the best and the worst race swag that you have ever gotten?
Okay, I know mine
Okay.
easily for worst.
So my best and worst is disclaimer, it's the same race.
Okay.
Same piece of gear, different years.
Okay.
Okay.
So best, I'm gonna say the Fifth Avenue Mile, circa 2018, 2019. I got the best pair of shorts imaginable.
Mm-hmm.
Love them. The year before was a hat, which I still wear to this day, and that's like my go-to running hat usually. But the shorts, A1. Worst, same race. This year, 2023, well, last year's race, the most recent one, I got a pair of yellow shorts, which I love yellow, my favorite color.
Mhm.
Don't let them touch water. Don't let them touch sweat. They're see-through.
They are see-through.
See-through shorts. Like they're great for running. They're like a 4.5 inch inseam. So it's like that nice runner short. Like you're built for speed with these shorts. They are see-through. You better be wearing something underneath, or you're going out, you're giving a show.
I
You
just
know,
don't-
you like saved mine for me for what, like 7 months, and you
I
finally
gave it
gave
to you
them to
like 2
me.
months ago.
Yeah, and I literally put my hand in them and like could see my veins and was
Yeah.
like, "We're good. These are not being worn ever."
Yeah. Those are my treadmill shorts. I can wear those in the treadmill, and if I sweat, that's on me.
Yeah.
That's my best worst.
What do you got, Katie?
Um, well, okay, so my favorite swag was 2023, the finisher shirt for New York City. I thought the color was really cool. 2022 was such a bust. It was like this weird, like maybe I'm blue, maybe I'm white. Like I
Okay.
definitely was just the extra color in the factory nobody wanted, so we bought it.
In bulk.
Last year was like really pretty with like the deep blue and the orange, and I liked what they did with the color changes in the logo. That was
Mhm.
my favorite, and I think those shirts are great quality. I really do. I love them.
Yeah.
Now my least favorite swag, and it's not actually like something you wear that I ever got at a race, but like when I did my first 50K, we got a coaster as our medal, like a wooden coaster that it's somewhere down here. Carolina uses it in her play kitchen because I was like, "Are you serious?" I just ran a 50K and I got a wooden coaster.
A coaster in play kitchen. It's nothing.
Yeah, that was just like my least favorite. It was such a letdown, you know.
Yeah.
Like, thanks for this piece of wood, guys.
All right, Kelly, you are up.
All
Best
right,
and worst.
I think my favorite was the Napa Valley Half Marathon. I was running with Bib Brave at the time, so they had gotten me an entry to that race, and they got me like the VIP package. So in addition to like the standard shirt, I got a backpack and a bottle of wine.
Oh,
So I was like, this is
Almost
nice.
fancy. Almost fancy over here.
that's pretty cool.
No, it was like a whole little backpack full of stuff too. It was a really good swag bag.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
And I think my least favorite was, I don't remember what year, but one of the Princess half years, they gave us medals that had Princess Aurora on them. But the way that they like contoured the medal, they all had like clinked against each other when they were on the medal racks, and every single one was rubbed to make it look like she had nipples. Every single one. So the medal is just like they're all worn that way. I'm just like, who did this?
Oh my God, that's so
Oops.
good.
Oops.
So that's probably like the most ridiculous. Like, how did you let this happen?
That's really funny.
Yeah.
That's really
I'm
funny.
sure I have like a misfit shirt or two that I still hold on to for no real reason, but that's the one that like stands out when I try to think of like
That is so good. All right.
Okay. What is, I don't know if it'll be best for this. What's the running etiquette that like really drives you guys crazy during races if someone does?
Katie, you got one?
I cannot stand. Get ready. We could be here a while.
You have
If
three.
you're running more than two, like if you're with more than one other person, go to a side. Like, don't be in the freaking middle of the course, okay?
And
That's
don't.
one. Number two, if you're gonna spit, like go to the side, dude. Like I've been spit on during races in New York City, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like that is so disgusting.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's my two top that I'm just like, and if you're going to stop, like I know that that's for all of us. Like if you're going to abruptly stop like during a big race, please
Any
please
race.
go
Any race.
somewhere
Just
else but
regular
the
race
middle of the
etiquette.
course. It's so rude.
Yeah.
Very rude.
Yeah. I would say like the people who are like pushing and shoving when it's very clearly like a congested area,
Oh,
or even when it's not a congested area, and the people who are like behind you and like they're like, ugh, as if like I'm in the inconvenience here because you're trying to speed past a crowd of people.
mm-hmm.
Like I
Like
get
the
like if you're
weavers.
running and you're like trying to weave through people, that's one thing. But like he's like, hey, on your left, whatever, you're letting people you know are there. But the people are just like, ugh, as they're like behind you or like almost like brushing past you, like,
Yeah.
come on, come on.
I had that happen in the
Yeah.
race this weekend where a girl, like literally, I'm running with the crowd. I'm not like, I'm within the pace zone of everybody near me.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there's a girl to my right, and like we're both just kind of running. And some girl, like, the course is not that congested. Instead of
Mm.
like going to the left or the right or the outside, she literally like pushed between the two of us, like hands on both of us to push herself through. And it's like, you couldn't have like yelled, "Excuse me," or said, "Put a hand
Yeah.
on first and like let me
Oh,
know
don't
you
touch
come
me.
through." Like, I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
Like just generally don't touch me, but like also I'm sweaty. You're sweaty. Like I don't want to be touched even more now.
yeah,
Please stop.
yeah.
Rethink what you're doing.
Mine's like
Oh.
a combo of what the two of you said, specifically pertaining to water stations. Like, water stations are generally pretty well marked. And it drives me crazy when people like, they like run up, they like shove to get in to run up, and then they just dead stop.
Stop.
Put a hand up, let me know you're gonna stop. Like, because I'm assuming you're gonna at least continue walking. Even if you like,
Yeah.
if you don't want to run, fine, but like at least keep moving. But people stop
Yeah.
at the water cooler in their office, and it's like, excuse me.
Yeah.
Or like when they
Yeah.
stop and they pour water on themselves while they're all still standing there. It's like,
Yeah.
you're not the only person in this race.
I have to say, like, that's I have definitely ran into people during like the New York City
Mhm.
Marathon because I don't ever like for me a water stop, like you grab the water, you kind of keep moving, like, I don't want to be part of that congestion, right? But like I have full on ran into people. And it like part of me wants to scream at them because I'm like, what are you doing? Like
They pull over by the
move.
garbage pails after.
Have a
Yeah, but I'm
lantern.
also like, I'm sure there's people who see me and what I do, and they're like, this girl is so rude because like I take the water and then I'm like dumping it over my head and like throwing the cup over my shoulder,
But
Okay.
you're still moving, so it's no congestion.
Yeah.
Not to cut you guys off, but we are going to get cut off. So
Oh my
I
goodness,
know
already.
time
Okay.
flies. All right. I'll
Time
talk to you
flies
guys
when you're
All
soon.
having
right.
fun. Good night, guys.
Good
Night.
night. See you Saturday.
See you Saturday.